So I transmigrated into a book, but I'm not sweating it because I am just a nameless background character. I have absolutely zero connection to the main leads. But yesterday, a Dr. Auntie randomly asked if Chen, had plans to get married. She offered to set me up. Honestly, I did not even have a partner in my past life. Now that I am in a book, getting married does not sound too bad. Let us do it. But standing outside the marriage registry, I took one look at my blind date and gulped. Oh my God, where did she come from? She is unbelievably gorgeous. That face, that tiny waist, those long legs. She asks if I am actually satisfied with her. I deny it, claiming I only came because Auntie Xia praised her character. Secretly, she cannot admit she is falling for my cute looks too. I tell her I am pretty satisfied with her too, trusting Auntie Xia when she says we are a great match. Since that is the case, she says we should not waste time and head inside to get married. I just nod. After getting our certificate, we walk outside. Since I am completely alone in this world with no family, there is absolutely no need to bring Gunyanian to meet any elders, but she has parents and wants us to live with them. We already got our marriage certificate, so what is there to be afraid of? I naturally agree to go home with her, but I did not drive here, so I ask about calling a cab. She just smiles, says she drove, and points. And get this, parked right outside the registration office is a whole lineup of insane luxury cars. Even the cheapest one must start at $3 million. Is she really this rich? Auntie Xia never mentioned this. She only told her that I had a great personality, a reliable character, enough to get by, and zero debt. She thought we would fit well together, so she introduced us. Wow, Auntie Xia really kept some massive details secret. She asks if Auntie Xia missed something. I ask what, and she mentions the massive Gu Corporation. Of course I do. The Gu Corporation is the massive, elite property of the family of the book's female lead, Gu Nianian. I have been transmigrated here for 5 years. Even though the news says the female lead took over as CEO of the Gu Corporation, her face was never shown to the public. Then she casually drops that she is the heir. Talk about a total plot twist. My new wife is actually Gu Nianian, the female lead. But the name on our marriage paper was clearly Bai Yu Yan. She laughs and calls me a goofball, clarifying her name is Bai Yu Yan. She explains she is an only child, and when she was little, bad people were always trying to target her. For her safety, her family temporarily changed her name to Bai Yu Yan, planning to change it back once she grew up. I ask why she has not changed it back yet, and she says she was just way too busy with work. She promises to do it soon. My mind is spinning. The obsessive female lead of this book is actually my wife now. Is she not supposed to be with the male lead? How did I end up marrying her? She just smiles, finding me hilarious. No wonder Auntie Xia said we fit. She reveals her mom was so worried about me being a bad guy that she secretly followed us here. But her mom just texted saying I am actually a great fit for her. Oh man. After panicking internally, my expression shifts instantly. I force on the most flattering, cheeky smile I can muster. Hey beautiful, I will cover the $9 for the divorce fee. Can we just be friends instead? She asks if I hate her that much. She absolutely refuses to divorce, grabbing my ear. Ow, easy, that hurts. She tells me we are going home because her mom is waiting. Just like that, I get dragged straight into a Rolls Royce. I want to cry, but I am too numb for tears. Gunyanian sits right next to me, leaning on my shoulder while she leisurely calls her family. I scoot away to get some space, but she just slides closer and closer until I am pinned against the door with absolutely nowhere left to go. She laughs at my panic. I complain, and she giggles, promising to stop and telling me to just sit closer. Before we even reach the Gu family mansion, my head is absolutely pounding. In the novel, she is not supposed to meet the superstar male lead until next year. Mother Gu is supposed to be terrified of Gu Nianian falling for that guy. She gets completely heartbroken watching her daughter act like a totally different person, blindly chasing after him. It actually causes a massive, bitter falling out between them later in the story. Even though that male lead was an award-winning actor, her elite family still looked down on him. So how on earth will they accept a completely broke, 18th tier nobody in showbiz like me? As the bodyguards open the door, Gu Nianian steps out and notices me completely zoning out, looking like my mind has drifted to another planet. She asks what I am thinking and tells me to get out. I snap back to reality and hurriedly scramble out of the luxury car. Right as I follow Guni and Nianian into the living room, her dramatic mom and Uncle Lan rush over to pull me inside. She squeals that I am finally her son-in-law and she has been waiting for this. Why does she look like she completely adores me? Guni nudges me, telling me to stop spacing out and call her mom. I snap back to reality and awkwardly call her mom. Mother Gu beams from ear to ear, shoving 2 red envelopes into my hands while saying they are a welcome gift from her and Nianian's dad. Since her dad is traveling abroad on business, and we married in such a rush, he will not be back for several days. I tell her I am pretty embarrassed to accept them, but she waves it off saying this is just a small welcome gift, but she prepared them long ago. She tells me I am her only precious son-in-law, so she will not skimp on anything. Then she drags me over to sit on the sofa. After that, she showers me with sweet questions, looking completely thrilled. I ask if she somehow knew me before today. She laughs, explaining she was always hunting for a good son-in-law, but she never found anyone she actually liked until her good friend Li Sha mentioned me. Li Sha said I was a great kid, so Mother Gu secretly followed me around for a few days to spy on me. The more she watched, the more she absolutely loved me, so she begged Auntie Xia to play matchmaker. She can finally breathe easy now. Honestly, I never expected my new mother-in-law and Auntie Li Xia to be best friends. Auntie Li Xia is a doctor at the hospital who I met 4 years ago. If I had not transmigrated here, I would never have met Auntie Xia, and this absolutely wild marriage would never have happened. So, I am actually the one changing the storyline. Wait, no. Am I not just some useless background character with zero plot armor? Suddenly, a voice asks if the son-in-law is home. Mother Gu calls me over to meet my new father-in-law. Father Gu greets me with a completely blank, emotionless voice. Realizing he sounds too cold, he coughs and flatly tells me that the Gu family is now my family too, so I should buy whatever I want without holding back. He says their family might lack some things, but they have tons of money. If my wife ever bullies me, I should just tell him. He promises to teach her a lesson. I thank him, which seems to make Father Gu pretty uncomfortable. He hangs up the phone to handle business. Then Mother Gu turns to me, asking if we want our wedding held here or somewhere far abroad. In the sky, on the ground, or on the sea, seriously. My poor brain cannot even comprehend this crazy wealth. She insists we can hold it in the sky by renting a plane to keep flying. She tells me not to worry about any of that. Since their family owns an airline with plenty of private jets, we can literally do whatever we want for the big day. Since I honestly cannot even picture such crazy luxury, I throw the hard decision to Gunyanian mostly because I have a secret plan. What if she refuses a divorce today, but quickly changes her mind the moment she meets the actual male lead of this story? Since we are destined to get a divorce sooner or later anyway, why should I even stress over it? It is much better to let Gunyanian decide and score some cheap husband points, so I tell my wifey we should do whatever she wants. I have zero objections. Gunyanian secretly thinks I am absolutely hilarious and a total goofball. She tried to get me to call her wifey the whole way here with no luck, but now I suddenly use the pet name out of nowhere. She thinks I do not care about her at all, and that I am still secretly plotting to get a divorce. But since my words sound like I deeply respect her, she decides to reluctantly forgive me and happily agrees to make all the wedding plans. Hold on a second, why is this female lead acting completely different from the way she was written in the book? Is she not supposed to be super cold and quiet? How does she even have the energy to play along and tease me? Mother Gu is absolutely thrilled, bragging that she has a fantastic eye for talent as she watches us look so incredibly affectionate. Gunyanian does not say a word, simply smiling as she wraps her arm tightly through mine to show off our happy couple vibe. Plus, our friends and family need to actually be free to attend the ceremony. Because of this, the wedding is set for National Day, 4 months from now. Afterward, Gunyanian comes with me to pack up my old apartment. Once everything is packed, we get ready to leave, but her assistant suddenly calls her. She hangs up and apologizes, saying she is really sorry but she cannot head back home with me. She needs to run back to the company immediately. I tell her it is fine, so she gives me a warm hug and gets in her car. By the time I get back to the Gu mansion alone, my phone starts ringing off the hook. It is my manager, and Yang. Chen, President Yan really likes you. So go to the hotel tonight and keep him company for dinner. He says that second lead role is mine if I prepare well, warning me not to refuse. Is this guy even a real manager? The guy completely ignores his job, only chasing crooked schemes. What is with that trash attitude? He claims it is for my own good, asking if I want to throw away my shot at fame. Plus, I signed a contract. He says I must cooperate. Otherwise, it is a breach of contract. But I hit back, does the contract say I have to drink with clients? Show me where, or stop using it to pressure me. I made it clear long ago. If you want me to act and attend events, I will completely cooperate with you. Other activities? No way. Do not even think about it. Honestly, I was not even the one who signed that stupid contract. Before I transmigrated, the original owner's mother signed it as his guardian. The very next day, the original owner's mom ran off abroad. That was also the exact day I transmigrated here. I planned to sue them at first, but I could not fight the fact that the original owner actually recorded a consent video for the company. So I dropped the idea. If they actually use that video to threaten me, I might not win in court. But judging by their incredibly low IQ, they probably would not even think of doing that. That evening, Gunanian finally returned home from the Gu Corporation. Back in our room after dinner, I realized the cards Uncle Lan and the others gave me had 100 million in each. I wanted to throw them away. Fast. If I lose them, I can never pay that back. As Gunanian opens the safe, she asks if the cards are burning my hands. She asks why I am tossing them so fast, while silently wondering what is wrong with me. Why is Chen so resistant to her and even the gifts her family gives him? He does not just refuse them, he is actually completely repulsed by them. But wait, could he actually know some secret about this world? I definitely need to test him out. I had no idea what Gunanian was thinking, so I just picked up my phone and called Auntie Xia, who immediately apologized to me. She admits she hid the info because she truly felt the two of us were a great match. Our matchmaker truly wanted us together, but feared that if I knew her family was ultra-wealthy, I would refuse the huge gap. I tell Auntie Li, it is fine. No worries. After talking a bit more, I handed the phone to Gunanian. Gunanian took it, chatted for a few quick sentences, handed it back, and went to shower. While lying in bed, I saw my annoying manager calling again. He tells me to come to the company tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., hanging up instantly. I do not care much. Hearing the sound of running water coming from the bathroom, I zone out, wondering if Gunanian's character setting in this novel is actually correct. She smiled so much today, yet the female lead in the novel rarely smiled even after falling for the male lead. Wait, hold on. Since I transmigrated here, is it possible she did too? But looking at the natural elegance in her every single move, it really does not seem like acting. Maybe she just grew up in this world from a young age. Either way, I will observe for now, since there is no rush for a divorce. Gunanian finishes washing up, and as expected, her stunning figure is absolutely incredible. She playfully teases Chen about being satisfied, then laughs and tells me she will stop teasing. Why stay so far away, she asks, wondering if I will sleep since it is late. So I quickly lie down properly, and she smiles as she turns off the lights. Looking at me, she suddenly recalls a dream from a month ago, revealing she is the female lead of this novel. According to the story's script, she is supposed to fall for the male lead at first sight. Then, she is supposed to use every toxic trick to force him to stay, driving him to flee the city forever. The mere thought of it leaves her completely speechless. Get this, she has no interest in following that dumb script. Screw the plot. So, when her mother told her to go get married yesterday, she did not refuse. Thank goodness she actually went. But why did Chen immediately ask for a divorce the moment he realized who she was? This is why she suspects Chen is also awakened. He knows. She is the lead. But since they already got their marriage certificate, whether he is awakened or not, they are husband and wife now. Feelings can grow slowly over time, right? Waking up the next day, I do not see Gunanian at all. She must have gone to work, being a busy chief executive officer. There is no way she has much free time. After eating breakfast with Uncle Lan, I head straight to my agency. Spotting me heading out, my family bodyguards immediately try to tag along. Like, chill, guys. I'm just a bottom-tier actor barely anyone even recognizes. I tell them to back off. They refuse, saying the young miss ordered it. So, I call Gunanian. Gunanian, tell your guards to leave me alone. I am literally just heading to the office and do not need security. She flips through her paperwork, smiling as she tries to coax me. Come on, Chen, she says. Having them around is just safer. But I'm no superstar. Just a total bottom-tier nobody. If someone snaps a photo and it goes viral, people will just roast me for flexing with guards when I'm completely irrelevant. Who actually wants that kind of embarrassing publicity? Fine, she sighs. Good point. Forget about them. Hanging up the phone, I watch the guards finally step back. Satisfied, I start up my engine and drive away from the massive Gu estate. Gunanian immediately orders her staff to investigate my talent agency. Why am I still struggling at the bottom? Logically, it makes zero sense. Chen has been working in this industry for 5 whole years. Even excluding his college days, he should not still be this hidden. Barely anyone even knows his name. Something is definitely going on. Very fishy. Meanwhile, I pull up to Ding Dang Entertainment, immediately bumping into this guy named Qian Yifei. We debuted together, but he absolutely loves targeting me. Watch this, because he is about to start his usual garbage talk any second now. Oh look, who is this? If it isn't Shen, 5 years in and still a total nobody. I try to ignore him, but he keeps barking, calling me an 18-tier loser. Since you skipped out on the hotel meeting last night, our manager and Yang sent me instead. Guess what? The big client promised me the second male lead role. Are you incredibly jealous of me right now? But that is what you get for playing pure and refusing our manager's shady deals. He rants about how unfair it is. Who does Shen think he is? Just because he's a bit more handsome, every wealthy investor targets him first. We literally entered this industry at the exact same moment. Why do I always have to scavenge the leftovers that Shen rejects? I casually ask if he feels any better after venting all that. He snaps. Calling me easily pleased, he fumes with absolute rage. If you do not want fame, why are you even here? You are just a massive hypocrite. Keep playing pretend. Let's see how long you keep this up. Oh, you probably do not even know yet. I heard the manager say President Ding finally lost her patience and is about to ruin you. Why else do you think they summoned you today? With that, the jealous rival hums a tune and struts away. Honestly, I couldn't care less about his threat. I head to the second floor, but manager N Yang just barks at me to go wait. Inside, a few rookie actors are already waiting. Naturally, they are all way more popular than me. They look down on a 5-year veteran. Only 2 actually show me any respect. After a ridiculous delay, the company boss Ding Shu Lian and manager N Yang finally decide to show up. Their absolute lack of efficiency is embarrassing. No wonder this trash place never grows. When will this even be over? I seriously just want to go home. My phone is almost completely dead, and it is already 11 a.m. The last rookie exits, and it is finally my turn. Meanwhile, over at Fuji Group, Assistant UA enters the office, delivering her urgent report to CEO Gu Nian. Ding Dang Entertainment is a complete scam agency that only survives by charging their own artists predatory contract termination fees. The corrupt couple running it tried to exploit Chen's great looks, forcing him into disgusting casting couch deals. Since he always refused their demands, they intentionally blacklisted him with minor roles. For 5 years, they kept his public exposure pretty much non-existent. They have been actively holding him back. Fortunately, our top legal team has already thoroughly analyzed Chen's highly restrictive contract. They say a lawsuit is an absolute guaranteed win, and they are ready to terminate it immediately. A court case is way too slow, and it lets them off too easy for bullying him. I will never let them off that easily. Is there a much faster way? Yes. If their agency goes bankrupt and cannot provide him with work, Chen's contract is instantly null and void. Additionally, the corrupt couple recently mortgaged their entire company estate for $100 million loan, illegally pocketing the cash to pay off their son's insane gambling debts. Guo Yang nodded with a cold smile, leaked the info, and ruined them instantly. Do you even know who President Chen is? The man controls everything, yet you dared skip last night's dinner? Have I seriously been too soft on you? Why waste your breath? He has not listened to us in years. Other rookies literally beg for these chances, yet they get absolutely nothing. Shen, why make this a lose-lose for both of us? Why did you call me here? What else could it be? We are talking about your future. One last time, are you going to follow our rules or not? He clearly has massive potential to be a star, but this stubborn kid just refuses every single chance we give him. This guy is just bleeding the company dry. We have not made a single dime off him. It is infuriating. I just kept staring at my phone, completely ignoring them. Honestly, I was totally speechless. Seriously, I've lost count of how many times I said no. They heard me, but they refused to stop pushing. They expect me to be some obedient little puppet. Seriously, are they deaf? Maybe they need a doctor. Fine. Since you are dead set on resisting, fine. Let us talk about tearing up your contract instead. You signed a 10-year contract. 5 years have passed, meaning you still have 5 years left. Under our agreement, walking away early is going to cost you a $10 million termination fee. Pay those $10 million, and you are a free agent immediately, though we both know you do not have that cash. So, let us make a deal. Give us half $5 million, and we will let you walk away. I did not even look up. No cash, I told them. Then I went right back to playing on my phone. My wallet was genuinely empty. The reality was, my savings account only had a little over $1 million. If I had the cash, I would have paid them off and vanished a long time ago. Honestly, even with a full bank account, I would hate giving this trash company a single cent. They do not deserve it. No $5 million? Fine. You must have $3 million, right? Let us do $3 million. Wow, what a desperate discount. Look at this, they are actually slashing the price. Either these bosses are broke or the company is completely sinking. I do not have it. How can you not have $3 million? Do you not own a house and car? Sell them or borrow cash. Do you not want your freedom? You have been begging to leave for years. Exactly. $3 million is our absolute final offer. Otherwise, the board will never let you go. You do not want to stay trapped here for the full 10 years, right? I have zero cash. You already trapped me for 5 years anyway. What is another 5 years of this? Ding Shulian stared in pure shock, completely speechless. beside her, and Yang looked ready to explode from fury. This is infuriating. Why is he such a brick wall? You idiot, 5 years is a long time. You are still young. With some luck, you could easily make 3 million in 1 year. Why stay trapped? I will still be young in 5 years. What is the rush? Wait, so you refuse to pay a single dollar? Did you only just figure that out? Was I being too subtle? Did you actually need to ask? In your absolute dreams. Leave without paying a single dime? Who do you think you are? Check this out. They are absolutely desperate. Fine, if you do not have 3 million, how about just 1 million? Why will he not just break? They need this cash fast because they use company loans to pay their son's massive gambling debts. Otherwise, we are not running a charity. Why would we let him walk away for basically nothing? If you refuse to pay even 1 million, you will stay locked here forever. Chen, you are pushing us too far. So enjoy rotting as a complete nobody in our company basement for the next 5 years. Boss Ding, Brother Ann, we have a major emergency. The bank discovered our illegal loan transfers and called the police. They are coming to seize all our assets right now, and the shareholders found out too. Everyone is rushing over. Hearing this, Ding Shulian and An Yang collapsed into their seats, completely paralyzed with fear. I just raised my eyebrow, suddenly putting the pieces together. No wonder they were offering such crazy discounts. They desperately needed cash to cover their crimes. If the bank takes everything, what is left of Ding Dang Entertainment? Basically, they are headed straight into total liquidation. And just like that, my contract with this trash company was automatically canceled. I never expected a simple trip to the office would end my contract automatically. I was absolutely thrilled. I immediately wanted to brag online. Thanks a million, Brother Ann, for finally setting me free. Humming a happy tune, I left the building. But the moment I got into my car, my phone rang. It was Gonyan Yin. She asked why I sounded so happy, so I revealed my agency went bankrupt. Since they went under, my contract automatically terminated. Finally, I'm a free agent now. She was genuinely happy for me, but warned me to treat this as a lesson to be wiser. She told me not to record random videos and hand over my power again. Wait, how did she know? Don't tell me you set up the bank and shareholders, she laughed, calling me pretty smart for guessing. I knew she had great intentions and I was extremely grateful for her help, but this meant I owed her a massive favor. They say favors are the absolute hardest debts to repay, and owing them is what I fear most. She reminded me she's my wife. If her husband is bullied, she's absolutely going to step in. See, my original plan was to wait for her to meet the male lead and ask for a divorce. But after today, I want to bring it up myself. If this keeps going, these favors will keep piling up until I can never repay them. So, taking a deep breath, I tentatively suggested Nian Yin, maybe we should just get a divorce. Her voice went cold. She asked if anyone ever taught me not to throw that word around so casually. I'm an adult. Can't you take responsibility for your own actions? Did I force you to sign that marriage certificate back then? She said she hadn't wronged me once since our wedding, then asked if I'd done right by her. I apologized. I just couldn't accept her, but I couldn't explain my reasons. After all, she's the female lead of this book. Sooner or later, she'll fall for the actual male lead. Even with our marriage certificate, there's absolutely no future for us. Wouldn't it be better to end this sooner? But she demanded to know exactly why I couldn't accept her. She asked if it was our family background gap. I obviously couldn't tell her I transmigrated into a book and knew her destiny. I just nodded, saying that was part of it. Gu Nianian clearly didn't believe me, but she didn't call me out. Instead of pressing, she firmly warned me never to bring up the word divorce to her again. She said if I mentioned it again, she'd be truly furious, adding that our family gap was only on the surface. In reality, there's no gap, which is why her parents insisted on our marriage. Quietly, I promised I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't dare to anyway, because honestly, her words struck a nerve. What she said actually made a lot of sense. I felt incredibly guilty. I'll just have to wait for her to bring up the divorce herself next year. She asked if I was heading home. I said yes. She told me to drive safe and think about whether I truly love acting now that I'm free. She promised she'd support me no matter what I decided to do, but she hoped I'd pursue something I genuinely loved. I'd never had anyone talk to me like this before. It felt a bit awkward. I jokingly complained that she was nagging me. She shot back that she wouldn't say this much to anyone else if they begged. She told me to think it over and we'd talk tonight. I just nodded, telling her I got it. After telling me to drive safe, she hung up. I really wasn't used to this level of genuine care. It felt weird. I actually hung up first, leaving her grumbling that if she didn't have urgent company matters, she'd rush home to grab me and talk. There was still so much left to say. Meanwhile, right after hanging up with Gu Nianian, a video call from Uncle Lan came in, asking if I was coming home for lunch. I told Mom I'd be home in 30 minutes, but she insisted she wasn't hungry and would wait to eat together. And she did. After we finished eating, Uncle Lan came over and handed me a thick file folder. She explained it was a name-changing gift from her and my dad, prepared yesterday but only fully finalized today. She called it a small token of appreciation, but my jaw dropped. Was this really just a little token? The folder was incredibly thick. Honestly, I didn't even dare to open it. Back in my room, I immediately locked it in the safe, but turning around, I froze at the sight of my massive closet. I yelled downstairs to ask Mom if she bought all this. Uncle Lan, currently arranging flowers in the living room, laughed. She yelled back that Nyanyan bought them, but then she added that my closet was way too small for what was coming. She'd bought a massive haul for me too, and had absolutely no clue where we'd store it all. Hearing this, I could only sigh. When did Nyanyan even find the time to buy all this stuff? I thought she was heading straight to the office. Seriously, how does a busy CEO have the leisure to shop for me? Whatever, I will just bring it up when she gets home tonight. She finally got home. Right then, I pulled her aside. Did you miss me? She teased. Looking at her gorgeous face, I froze. Honestly, she is just breathtaking. I demanded to know why there was a mountain of new clothes in my closet, but she just asked if I was stressed again. Do not be mad, Chen. If it actually bothers you, buy me gifts instead. I stayed dead silent. Once dinner was over, she dragged me up to the study to discuss my career. And honestly, when she switches to business mode, her powerful aura is just insane. It was a sudden reminder that my playful wife is actually a top-tier boss. She spun around, catching me, sitting quite stiffly right across the table from her. Come sit here, she offered. I refused. Thankfully, she did not push the issue. She asked if I actually liked being an actor. Honestly, even though I was pushed into this industry, I have taken on plenty of roles over the last 5 years, even if those roles only got a single second on screen. Just one flash. Every role let me live an entirely different life, and I genuinely love that. Hearing this, she asked if I truly wanted to keep acting. Without all the toxic agency drama, absolutely. That is when she smiled and offered a little suggestion of her own. I just rolled my eyes, making her laugh before she explained she had her team draft up some plans for me. The best option was staying independent while hiring a personal manager to handle things. Of course, every choice had its ups and downs. After looking them over, I chose the independent path, deciding to post a job ad online later that night to find a manager. But then she chimed in, saying she already had the perfect candidate and wanted to recommend him directly. She said it would solve both my strategy and staff problems. I eyed her suspiciously, asking if this was another trap. She secretly thought I was pretty sharp. It actually was a little trap, but teasing her husband was just too much fun to stop. She played innocent, claiming UI had come to her crying, desperately begging for a massive favor. Seeing how miserable she was, she felt obligated to recommend the guy to me. I froze up instantly. Why was UI involved in this? Well, her cousin used to manage actors, but he dropped out of the industry and was currently jobless. Now he wanted back in, but since he had been gone for 10 years, no agency would touch him. Knowing I would need a manager either way, she had begged my wife to convince me to hire her jobless cousin. Something about this story felt incredibly fishy. After a brief pause, the realization hit me. Nyanyan was totally playing me. She just casually shrugged, asking why I was overthinking such a simple matter. She added that if I refused, she would just tell UI to keep searching. It is just that the poor guy might struggle quite a bit to find anything else. This woman was basically guilt-tripping me. She was clearly saying that rejecting her cousin would make me a totally heartless jerk. Fine, I admit defeat. As expected of a clever boss, she really knows how to manipulate people. I told her to bring him in for an interview tomorrow. Sure enough, at 10 a.m., Yang Yuan Fan showed up. He was amazing. Just a few questions in, I knew Yang Yuan Fan was highly competent. I hired him on the spot. Walking out of the massive estate, he immediately dialed his cousin UI to share the victory. She cheered him on, saying she knew he could do it, before suddenly lowering her voice to give a warning. Get this, Boss Goo's one secret rule is that nobody can ever bully her husband. She refuses to let him get dragged into the dark, toxic side of the business. You get what she is saying, right? So it is not just about fame. Boss Goo certainly had not mentioned that secret rule to him. Protecting him sounded simple on paper, but enforcing it would be tough. Still, meeting Shen in person, he seemed incredibly humble. He did not seem like a troublemaker at all, so turning him into a star should be pretty easy. Ultimately, UA reminded him that as long as Mr. Shen got to act in the roles he loved with complete peace of mind, everything would be golden. Once Yang Yuan Fan left, I immediately went online to update my social media profiles. Close to 9 p.m., a fan finally noticed and commented, celebrating that Chen bro had officially escaped that toxic agency. They sent their congratulations. But just as I was tucked into bed, my phone suddenly buzzed with a direct message. It was the famous actress Xiao Tinglin reaching out. We had actually met on a movie set a while back. We hit it off back then and exchanged contacts, and she still messaged me from time to time just to catch up. Just to be polite, I sent a quick text. Since my old agency went under, our contract was automatically voided. I don't need help right now, but thank you, Miss Xiao. Since you're good, I won't bother you anymore. After wrapping up the chat, I set my phone aside and started rolling out my blanket on the floor. When Nian saw me setting up on the hardwood again, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry, telling me to stop. I offered to sleep in another room so she wouldn't get annoyed seeing me, but she just sighed at my words. She said she'd be upset even if I left, telling me to stop. She only wanted a veteran manager so I wouldn't get bullied again. She asked if I would have agreed otherwise, and honestly, I just didn't have the energy left to keep arguing with her. Seriously, don't you just love how a female lead can effortlessly spin things? Look at her go. To any outsider, it probably looked like she was completely head over heels for me. But deep down, I knew her kindness was just out of her sheer sense of duty as a wife. At 9 a.m. the next morning, Yang Yuan Fan arrived at my place, ready for work. To give us some quiet space to talk business, Gu Nian had the butler set up a separate private room for us. He told me that last night, he dug up and watched every single clip of my past acting roles. Your skills are flawless, he said. Honestly, I think you're way better than most of the formally trained actors out there. I definitely didn't expect such high praise. I thanked him, admitting I'd never actually studied acting in a formal school. I just stole tips from the acting coaches while waiting around on set, and then practiced hard once I got back home. My manager shook his head, saying I clearly had no idea how incredible my talent really was. Even when you were playing a nameless background extra, your raw presence absolutely stole the scene. But even with all that talent, I checked your follower count across different platforms yesterday, and yeah, the situation is looking pretty bleak. With zero hype and absolutely no popularity right now, no director is going to randomly reach out to you. However, I stumbled onto a massive opportunity last night. There is an upcoming blockbuster movie called Chang Yan. They're holding completely open auditions, and the director does not care about big star status at all. He handed me the script, saying the fourth male lead would fit me perfectly. Once I read it, I fell in love with the character. In that case, I will have to rely on you to guide me through this audition, Brother Yang. Noticing my excitement, he quickly reined me in, telling me not to celebrate just yet. Even if you pass, shooting won't start for at least 3 months. Right now, I highly suggest you take on some quick web dramas to build up your hype first. If you are okay with that plan, I will start hunting for some lead roles in short dramas right away. Hey, I have 0 followers, so I can't really complain. As long as the script is good, I'm down for absolutely anything. Once I saw Yang Yuan Fan off, I couldn't help but feel absolutely blown away by his incredible work ethic and efficiency. I didn't even give him any instructions yesterday, yet he went home and did an insane amount of research. And today he showed up with a solid, realistic plan. No wonder Nian insisted I hire him as my manager. Honestly, having a manager like this is a total dream. But hold on, with the audition in just 2 days, he has to work fast. When audition day finally rolled around, I finished getting ready and was heading downstairs when I bumped right into Gu Nian. Asking why she skipped work, she just smiled and said her husband was going out to shine today. How could she possibly work today? I still wasn't quite used to hearing her call me husband, asking her what she meant. It's literally just an audition, I told her. Skipping work is a bit much. I'll be so embarrassed if I fail. She scoffed, saying if they didn't cast me, they had no taste and they should be the ones feeling humiliated. She laughed, telling me to stop overthinking and eat because Brother Yang was waiting. Hearing he was here, I hurried right downstairs. Once breakfast was finished, I got in the car with my manager, and we drove straight to the audition venue. It was a quick drive, but right as I was reviewing my lines, an incredibly obnoxious and familiar voice echoed nearby. Wait, what is Chen Yufei doing here? Did that guy seriously manage to sign with a brand new agency this quickly? Why does he always have to ruin my day? I seriously need to figure out which company picked him up. Chen Yufei asked what agency I signed with. I ignored him, so he smirked, asking which role I was trying so hard to study. He laughed, saying I'd fail anyway since a nobody like me barely has a few seconds of screen time to my name. I raised an eyebrow, asking why he was here, if President Qian already promised him the second lead. His smirk immediately vanished. He groaned, muttering that the lady changes her mind faster than a flipping page. The second my entertainment agency went bankrupt, she bailed on me. Instead, she just dumped me on some random agency. So now, I still have to audition on my own instead of getting cast directly. Talk about unreliable. One look at his face told me the president's promise fell through. Otherwise, he'd be bragging right now, since that other movie's schedule totally conflicted with this one. I turned the deal down. Seeing how quiet I stayed, Chen Yufei just couldn't resist mocking me. Quiet down. So what if my bid for the male number 2 role failed? I can still audition. Besides, the male number 3 and 4 roles are still wide open. I signed up for both auditions. Just watch me snatch one of these roles right from under you. He told me to just pack my things and scram, but I couldn't even be bothered to respond. Luckily, Yang Yuan fan saw the whole thing from a distance. He asked who this was and if I knew him. I told him we used to share an agency. Of course, Chen Yufei didn't recognize him. He sneered, asking what trash agency I signed with, saying he didn't even recognize my manager. This is a quiet waiting area. If you want to start trouble, do it somewhere else. Otherwise, I am calling security. Since Chen Yufei still needed to audition, he couldn't risk getting thrown out. He figured with my terrible acting skills, I was just background dressing today. No way I would actually pass. He thought it would be way more fun to mock me after I failed. A smug grin spread across his face. Since the male number 3 and 4 roles had separate rooms, there were 2 casting halls. Shortly after Chen Yufei sat down, his name was called for the male number 3 role. He walked in, then immediately walked right back out. He stomped out, glaring furiously back at the casting hall, muttering that they were just a bunch of hacks who knew nothing about acting. If they didn't want him, someone else would. It was completely their loss. He was ready to storm out until he noticed I was still waiting. He muttered that if an amateur like me was still there was no way he was leaving first. Why should he leave? No, he had to stay and watch me fail, especially since the director himself was personally running the male number 4 auditions. Brutal temper. That director is legendary for his explosive anger. He was dying to watch me make an absolute fool of myself. Right then, they called my name, so Chen Yufei sat back down to enjoy the show. The director skipped the introductions and told me to just start, asking which scene for the male number 4 I wanted to perform. Scene 9. Absolutely mental. Not a single person had dared to touch that scene all day. The kid had the looks, but scene 9 demanded a heavy emotional buildup and insane control. Could he actually pull it off? They asked if I was absolutely sure, saying I could still change my mind, but I just gave a firm, confident nod. Start now. The moment I stepped into character, I transformed into a completely different person. Joy, rage, deep despair, and then slipping back into the manic mind of an 8-year-old child. Every single emotion layered and escalated flawlessly. Pure focus. They were locked onto me. And check out the director's face. Tang Ying's eyes lit up as he watched, staying dead silent so he wouldn't break my focus until I finally finished. He gasped, calling it brilliant. He asked if my name was Chen, praising my incredible emotional explosive power. He said my emotional layering was exceptional, as if the male number 4 character had walked right out of his script. Tang Ying smiled, glancing down at my resume. But just as he was about to speak, he noticed something highly unusual. He stopped himself, asking if I really only had less than 5 minutes of total screen time in my career. He muttered that it was impossible, since my emotional control was practically flawless and so incredibly strong. Realizing I wasn't even professionally trained, Tang Ying was left in absolute shock. He realized he was looking at a natural-born star, a true hidden gem in the industry, and he had just struck gold. He wanted to test me more, but since he was an experienced director, he didn't let his excitement completely cloud his judgment. Sure, Scene 9 was tough, but it had no dialogue, making it manageable. While my acting was outstanding, they still needed to test my line delivery, so he decided to pick another scene. Bring it on. I knew right away this was a test of my actual improv skills. I welcomed the challenge. Tang Ying pointed to Scene 3, which was the most dialogue-heavy scene for male number 4. He warned me that many actors before me couldn't even memorize these difficult lines. Too easy. He told me not to let him down, but this was a breeze. During my performance, Tang Ying and the other judges were completely stunned to find my memorization was perfect, and my acting fundamentals were absolutely flawless. I basically brought the male lead number 4 from the script to life right before their eyes. As I finished, director Tang Ying and the entire team jumped up, clapping wildly because my acting absolutely blew them away. They even started talking about writing in 2 extra scenes for me. They were completely thrilled with my performance. I thanked the directors for this huge opportunity, but they insisted that they were the grateful ones. Tang Ying told me they had been searching forever for their male number 4, so we definitely needed to sign the casting contract now. He told me to step outside so the staff could lead me straight to the office for signing, and the absolute moment I stepped out, Yang Yuan fan rushed right over. He nervously asked how it went. Turns out, even my manager was sweating bullets. Even with his deep trust in me, he still knew the brutal reality that there is always someone better out there. What if there really was someone better suited? He sighed, trying to stay positive. If this gig did not work out, we would just take our time and find another good role eventually. I smiled and gave him the good news that Director Tang already cast me as male number 4, and we were heading to the office to sign the paperwork right now. Yang Yuan fan nodded rapidly, saying that was absolutely fantastic news. He told me he knew I could pull it off, urging me to head to the office immediately. I obviously needed his expertise to review the contract terms before signing, but before we could even locate the staff, the arrogant Chen Yifei came storming right toward us. He had this extremely smug grin on his face, totally assuming I messed up my audition and got kicked out of the room. So he ran over to mock me, but watch this, because he overhears my conversation with my manager instead. The dude was completely shocked that I survived. He could not believe Director Tang actually cast me as male number 4, immediately assuming I must have played some dirty tricks to get it. Marching up aggressively, the guy started shouting that my acting was absolute garbage and I could never even compare to him. "How did I get the role?" he demanded, completely forgetting the embarrassing fact that he could not even land male number 3. His loud screaming instantly drew the attention of everyone nearby, forcing his stressed assistant to quickly pat his shoulder and beg him to calm down. Shouting about a rigged audition, he claimed the director secretly picked me beforehand. He called me disgusting for acting so superior earlier, but I just stared at him with freezing eyes before taking a slow, threatening step right toward him. Chen Yifei flinched in fear as I warned him to watch his mouth. I mockingly told him to donate his mouth to someone else if he did not know how to speak, asking if he really thought everyone was as cheap and dirty as him. Gritting his teeth in pure rage, Chen Yifei tried to lunge at me, but my manager quickly stepped in to block the blow. The chaotic scene became so loud that building security rushed over. Naturally, the racket reached the audition hall, and director Tang Ying was famous for his terrifying temper. He stormed out and screamed at the top of his lungs, demanding to know who dared cause a scene and claim his audition was rigged. The famous director asked if this brainless idiot had even heard of his reputation for being completely fair. He ordered security to throw him out of the building, instantly crushing all of Chen Yifei's fake confidence. "Why did I get cast instead of him?" the loser desperately demanded. He claimed my garbage acting should not qualify for male number 4, shouting that if someone as bad as me could land the role, then he absolutely could too. He argued that since he signed up for that exact role, deciding the winner before his turn was the literal definition of a rigged system. Hearing this, Tang Ying realized he had acted a bit too impulsively because of my incredible performance. I had literally brought the character to life, forcing the director to make an immediate decision. The director admitted he completely forgot there was still someone left to perform, stating he normally would have waited until the last person finished. But my acting was just so breathtaking that he got swept up and cast me on the spot. He apologized again for forgetting that the rival was waiting. My casting for male number 4 was locked in, but the director offered some massive compensation to make up for the mistake. He promised that if his audition was truly better, he would give him another role. This offer included male number 3 here, plus male number 2 in his upcoming project. That next character was going to be highly challenging, even better than the male number 4 role he wanted. Everyone in the hallway knew this compensation package was incredibly generous, and that Director Tang was just doing it to save his own reputation. Chen Yifei immediately agreed, and Tang Ying invited him inside the hall to begin his audition. He invites everyone else to come in and watch too, just to see if the whole thing is really rigged. With free entertainment waiting right in front of me, I obviously wasn't going to say no. So I followed them inside hall number 4. Chen Yifei struts in with total confidence, but the moment he starts, his acting is a complete train wreck, just painfully bad. The crowd can barely watch, and director Tang Ying is absolutely furious. He snaps, calling the guy a total fraud. "You are wasting my precious time," he yells. "You actually thought you were better than Chen? A toddler has more talent." He calls it utter garbage. "How did you even dare to show up here?" "Security, throw him out." The whole room instantly erupts into laughter at his pathetic attempt. Humiliated, Chen Yifei screams back that if he is bad, my acting is somehow even worse than his. He claims it is rigged, which makes the director even madder. To shut him up, Tang plays my audition tape right on the big screen, leaving the entire room completely speechless. Now watch this. Chen Yifei stands there totally frozen, absolutely speechless. He insists the footage is edited, claiming I could never pull off a performance of this caliber. He yells that we are all in on some conspiracy, while I just stand around waiting to sign my deal. Suddenly, the director spots my manager. "Wait, is that Yang Yuan fan? I thought you retired for good." My manager just sighs, explaining that President Gunian Nian paid him far too much money to turn this down. He tells Tang he is managing me now, so he needs to focus on me. He warns that if I get annoyed, things will get messy. Fortunately, Director Tang is no idiot. He realizes I must have an insanely powerful backer to pull Yang Yuan Fan out of retirement. Tang praises his sharp eye, saying my sheer skills and handsome looks make it completely obvious why a legend would return. Seeing this, I realize the manager Gu Nian forced on me is definitely not just some regular guy. Honestly, I never expected him to stand on equal ground with a massive director like Tang. Tang glances at my manager, silently asking if he should speak. Realizing he cannot hide it anymore, Yang Yuan Fan simply nods. He admits they are old friends, confirming he used to be the absolute king of managers here. Every single client he ever managed was a massive A-list star, but right now, the legendary agent is sweating bullets. He is terrified I might fire him for hiding the truth, but I already understand everything clearly. It hits me that Gu Nian arranged all of this out of pure love to protect my career. Any lingering anger vanishes. I am just utterly stunned that my personal manager is actually a legendary kingpin in this industry. Seeing him look so incredibly anxious, like he is waiting for a death sentence, I decide to step in and save him. I casually ask Director Tang if we can talk about my contract, letting my manager off the hook. Now look at his reaction. He sighs in relief while secretly texting Gu Nian to report everything. Tang eagerly leads the way, refusing to let assistants handle it because he wants to guide us himself. Once inside his office, we sit down to talk details. Since I just want to act, we need to modify a few key clauses. Luckily, as a top-tier manager, Yang Yuan Fan knows every single trick in these legal papers. He swiftly redlines all the unfair clauses, protecting my interests perfectly. Normally, Director Tang would hate doing extra paperwork, but he is desperate to cast me as fourth lead. So he approves the edits right away, mentioning that since I am still a rookie, playing the fourth male lead in Chen Yan will only pay 500,000. I freeze, completely stunned. 500,000? That is the baseline for a newcomer in this kind of drama. He explains that if I had a massive following, they could easily offer up to 3 million. But given my current starting position, they have to be realistic, apologizing that they cannot offer any more. Honestly, I am absolutely thrilled because I never expected to make anywhere near 500,000. To be fair, I thought a few thousand would be my absolute limit since I am just a D-list actor. With the contract finally clean and my legendary manager giving me the absolute green light to proceed, I sign my name. Earning a massive role strictly on my own merit makes me incredibly happy, and I leave the office humming. Suddenly, my phone starts buzzing like crazy, so I quickly answer. Hearing Gu Nian's voice makes me let out a soft sigh, and Yang Yuan Fan notices. Honestly, it feels pretty amazing to have someone spoil you like this. She's the only one who can make me relax like this. Once the call connects, Nian asks if my audition is finally over. Finding out she's waiting at the east gate of the audition building completely surprises me. Did she really come to pick me up? Apparently, she's taking me home for lunch, so I agree and tell Brother Yang that Nian is waiting outside. I tell him to just take the car back himself. Yang Yuan Fan nods, promising to pick me up tomorrow morning for my next audition. He reminds me it's for the male lead in a short drama. I smile and tell him I've got it covered. I tell him to drive safe and head out. Watching me go, Yang Yuan Fan sighs, thinking it must be pretty great to be young and in love. Stepping out toward the east gate, I immediately spot a line of familiar luxury cars parked right outside a nearby coffee shop. Walking quickly over, the second her bodyguards spot me, they respectfully open the door to the luxury car in the middle. Once I slide inside, Gu Nian grabs my bags and teases me why the rush. It's not like she's going to run away. She's wearing a brand new outfit today, making her look even more stunning than usual. I stare like an absolute idiot before clearing my throat to snap out of it. We still haven't settled our score, I mutter, demanding to know exactly why she had to set me up with Brother Yang like that. She playfully apologizes, asking if I wasn't already over it, and jokingly offers to sleep in the guest room tonight if I'm still that mad at her. Honestly, how can I stay mad? She just cuts me off with a pretty smug smile. I warn her never to trick me like that again, and she immediately surrenders, promising to be on her best behavior. She promises to explain everything if I just forgive her this once, but why does she have to sound so incredibly sweet? Yes, she's technically my wife, but there's seriously no need for her to use that kind of melting tone with me. It feels like she's trying to coax a child, even though we've only known each other for a few days and have zero history. I tell her she'd better keep that promise, then quickly change the subject to announce that I officially landed the fourth male lead. She easily spots my awkward subject change and praises me, saying of course her outstanding husband would pass. I need a second to recover. After calming my racing heart, I ask why she's picking me up instead of working, and she mentions she already finished her morning shift. Apparently, Her afternoon shift doesn't even matter because her dad is back from his trip and waiting at home for lunch. I gasp, asking why she didn't warn me sooner. Mom only mentioned it briefly, but never gave me an exact arrival date. Having absolutely no idea he was returning today makes me feel incredibly irresponsible as a son-in-law. She explains that her father didn't want to distract me from my prep, but I insist that my audition is just a tiny detail. Nianian frowns and says I should have known, because my acting career is a big deal, not some minor hobby. To be completely honest, I've never had anyone care for me like this. In my past life, I was just a lonely orphan. The original character had a grandmother, but by the time I transmigrated into this book, she was too elderly to look after me. And naturally, no one ever looked out for my career or work before either. Remembering how Gunyanian dropped me off for my audition this morning, I can't help but let out an emotional sigh. If only she wasn't the female lead of this novel. Once we arrive at the mansion, Mom eagerly asks if my audition went well. Even though my father-in-law Gu Lin Hai looks pretty stern and unsmiling, his sharp eyes betray a flicker of genuine curiosity. I tell them it was a total success, and that I even signed the official contract today. Gu Lin Hai actually cracks a rare, proud smile, saying he knew I could do it and noting that their family has never had an acting talent before. His warmth honestly touches my heart. Mom urges everyone to hurry to the table so we can celebrate. Nianian laughs, telling us to eat first before checking out the travel gifts. Once seated, Gu Lin Hai slides a heavy document folder over to me. Even though I usually lock all my valuables in her personal safe, seeing how thin the folder is, I relax a bit, but wait, this is where the real surprise hits. Gu Lin Hai casually announces he transferred 10% of the Gu Group shares to my name. 10%? My mind completely blanks. That is an insane amount of money. This family is unbelievably generous. After going through his overseas gifts, I quickly store everything inside Gu Nianyan's bedroom safe. Only then do I finally feel at ease. As I turn to head back downstairs, Nianyan stops me, asking why I'm rushing down when her dad just arrived home today. I tell her mom is downstairs too and I want to chat, but she teasingly asks if they're children who actually need me to keep them company all day. She tells me to just focus on my own stuff after all. Don't I have a major male lead audition to prepare for tomorrow? I'm pretty much ready. I think I should still head downstairs. It feels rude to leave the elders alone downstairs, but she smiles, telling me it's fine and she appreciates my thoughtfulness. She points out that her dad already went to his private study to prepare for our talk about some company business, and her mom went out for afternoon tea, so nobody is even down there. I stare at her. Why didn't she just say that first? Why let me insist on going downstairs before telling me? She just chuckles, asking if she can't play a little joke on her cute Chen. Seriously, I ask her to stop teasing me like that, but her shameless grin tells me that's never going to happen. I remind her that her dad is waiting in the study while she wastes time teasing me. I urge her to hurry up instead of keeping him waiting. I watch as she finally laughs and heads down the hall. With her gone, I sit on the sofa to read my script for tomorrow's audition. But before I can focus, my phone suddenly starts ringing. It's my manager, Yang Yuan Fan. I pick up, and he immediately tells me I'm trending and not in a good way. He warns me he's handling it, but I absolutely must not post any kind of statement online. He hangs up to deal with the fire, leaving me stunned. I'm actually trending right now? This is my first time hitting the hot search list since I started acting. It's bad press, sure, but I'm actually pretty curious. Since I'm just a completely low-tier, D-list actor, I assume the online buzz would be pretty quiet, but to my absolute shock, it's blowing up. Rank number 4 is a post about the show Chang Yan pre-selecting me. And get this, there wasn't just one trending topic. The number 1 spot was about me too. One headline screams about Qin Yifei exposing shady deals, while another claims I stole the role right from under him. The second trending topic drags director Tang Ying, claiming this audition disaster ruined her legendary reputation. I carefully click through these dramatic tags, trying to piece together what actually happened on the live stream. Turns out, 30 minutes ago, Qin Yifei started a live stream, heavily hinting that our show's casting was completely rigged. He complained about practicing for months, only for the final role to go to a completely nameless rookie. Every single word was designed to spark outrage. Within minutes, his angry mob of fans flooded my socials, leaving nasty comments everywhere. But Tang Ying is a heavy hitter, and the media keeps a very close eye on her production team's social accounts. The press smelled blood in the water and immediately started churning out gossip articles to ride the hype train. Scrolling through the chaos, I see his loyal fans aggressively screaming for justice and defending their idol. Normal bystanders are just grabbing popcorn, but some comments are from people who actually know his acting style. One user literally asks how anyone could possibly act worse than Qin Yifei's already garbage skills. Other sensible minds pipe up, asking why they shouldn't doubt his entire sob story. Would an elite director really lack the brain cells to spot talent, choosing a terrible actor over you? It's pretty clear his story is full of holes. Some say he had the nerve to audition with terrible acting, lost the role fair and square, and is now desperately leeching off the show's name. Tell everyone to move on. He's just an attention seeker. I'm not even bothered by the drama. Meanwhile, Chen Yifei is reading these exact same comments and absolutely losing his mind. He simply cannot accept losing to me. So, the second his manager stepped out of the house, he went live to start venting his frustration. He originally just wanted his loyal fanbase to swarm my profile and boycott me. He hoped to bully the production team into canceling my contract for the fourth male lead. He knew it might blow up, but this insane backlash is completely unexpected. No wonder he's totally losing his mind right now. He truly believes he's the victim here and feels totally baffled. Of course, I have no clue he's having a meltdown. Now look at this. His toxic fans are absolutely spamming my inbox with pure hatred, but buried under all those nasty direct messages, I spot a real supporter. She sent a sweet private message telling me she simply can't stand seeing these terrible people drag my name. She said her temper is flaring up and she's going to war for me. That was sent 20 minutes ago. I reply quickly, telling her my manager will handle everything and she shouldn't get herself dragged into the drama. Out of sheer curiosity, I click on her profile and find her fiercely defending me across the web, even invading Chen Yifei's page to pick fights. Every single refresh brings up more of her legendary battle comments. I'm genuinely impressed by her dedication. Her pure combat power is honestly terrifying. You can mess with anyone in this world, but never touch dedicated entertainment fans. She's clearly so locked into the online war for my sake that she hasn't even noticed my direct message yet. Over on Chen Yifei's side, he finally saw those nasty comments. The guy was so furious, he almost coughed up blood. Meanwhile, my manager Yang Yuan was on the phone with director Tang, who already knew exactly what was going on. After getting Yuan's call, the director immediately had the production team release the raw audition footage of both me and Chen Yifei. Seriously, Yuan, be honest with me. Who is backing Chen to make you come out of retirement like this? Yuan replied that he couldn't say much. Just know that Chen cannot be mistreated. Understood? The director thanked him for the warning. He hung up and ordered his team to post an official clarification. They uploaded the complete, unedited audition footage of both me and Chen Yifei right from the casting hall. The media saw this and immediately rushed to report it. Within minutes, the production team's statement and related hashtags skyrocketed straight to the top of the trending charts. Seriously, guys, anyone with eyes could see my acting in that clip was leagues ahead of Chen Yifei's. To make things worse for him, other actors from the audition also started coming forward to back me up. Public opinion flipped in a heartbeat. People everywhere slammed Chen Yifei for clout chasing, with some openly mocking his complete delusion. They put out the raw video, and you still claim it's rigged? I have just one question for you. Is it really that hard to admit his acting is just better? Even Chen Yifei's hardcore fans began dumping him. Floods of users even swarmed my socials to apologize. Chen Yifei was getting roasted so hard he started questioning his life. Watching his own fanbase turn on him made Chen Yifei absolutely boil with rage. Right then, his new manager, Meng Shuahong, called him. She screamed, "My dear ancestor, I beg you, use your brain for once. I told you 1,000 times not to live stream. I told you that we cannot afford to mess with director Tang's team. Do you have any idea how many major investors are behind this show? Do you know how powerful director Tang's connections are? Look at the mess you made. No more roles for you. None. That idol drama where I had you locked in as the male lead? Cancelled. All because of your stupid stunt. Honestly, if President Qian had not personally introduced Chen Yifei, Meng Shuahong would have torn up his contract right then and there. They just called to drop you. But Chen Yifei insisted the video had to be fake. He claimed there was no way my acting was better than his, but the manager snapped back that nobody else believed that. Oh, so everyone else is completely blind and you are the only genius? People are absolutely right to drag you online. Is it that hard to admit his acting is better? It is completely natural. Why don't you try faking a performance like that? Chen Yifei's face went completely pale. Only now did he finally accept that my acting skills were the real deal. I already sent you a draft. Go post an apology online immediately. You have offended everyone and ruined your future. But if you do not apologize now, the internet will eat you alive. Go! With no other choice, Chen Yifei copy-pasted the template and reluctantly uploaded his public apology. But absolutely no one responded to him. His apology felt like a pathetic one-man show, leaving him totally embarrassed. And honestly, you can bet those former fans and random passers-by kept dragging him mercilessly. Chen Yifei lost his temper and was about to fight back when his manager told him to ignore the comments. If I catch you posting online again, I am done. I will ask the higher-ups to terminate your contract immediately. If we cannot terminate it, we will blackball you. Figure it out yourself. Chen Yifei knew he was in deep trouble. If his contract got terminated or he got blacklisted, wouldn't his entire career be totally finished? Still, Chen Yifei could not stop stalking the drama online. Meanwhile, on my end, I had not even followed director Tang or the show's official accounts. I had absolutely no idea the crew had issued a statement or posted our audition clips. I noticed my main fan group went surprisingly quiet. Then came her unexpected DM. "Ah Chen, the production team just posted the clip. Your acting is absolutely incredible." Chen Yifei actually claimed it was fake. Is something wrong with his eyes? Reading her message, I finally realized the production crew had released the video. Brother Yang must have reached out to them behind the scenes. Before I could even reply, she texted again. "Wait, Chen, you actually replied? I'm going to stop arguing with those haters now. Since everything is resolved, I will let it go. Those brainless idiots will believe anything Chen Yifei says. Thank you for fighting for me. Oh, do not mention it. You are my idol." Then she quickly messaged back saying her boss was coming and she had to run. She told me we'd chat later, so I quickly replied, telling her to go get busy. Once I closed our chat, I checked the news again. Seeing that the hate comments had completely died down, I went ahead and followed director Tang Ying and the show's official production accounts. With that done, I immediately started prepping for tomorrow's big short drama audition. But get this, I had absolutely no clue that the conversation online was already shifting in a wild new direction. Right from the start, my rookie performance was clearly leagues above Chen Yifei's, proving there were no shady deals. The fans threw a total carnival online, with girls completely losing their minds over my looks. People were screaming that I was way too handsome, rushing to hit that follow button like they were on complete steroids. The media naturally scrambled to hijack this massive wave of viral traffic. Soon, headlines were popping up everywhere, hyping up the arrival of a top-tier mysterious hottie. Seeing the internet completely flip on him, Chen Yifei was so furious he almost fainted, but he didn't dare do anything stupid. Terrified that his agency would actually cancel his contract, he could only watch in sheer agony as the public showered me with endless praise. Meanwhile, curious fans started digging. Deep into my past, people literally screamed that my old makeup artist should be fired, asking how on earth they could make such god-tier features look so ugly. The media frantically milked the hype, releasing article after article asking who exactly this mystery guy, Chen, really was. Meanwhile, my manager Yang Yuan Fan had just taken a quick break to pour himself some water. He knew my perfect visuals and acting would make me famous eventually, but blowing up overnight like this was something he never saw coming. He honestly couldn't wrap his head around how a simple, raw audition video had generated so much intense buzz. To him, managing Chen was basically a walk in the park. While he was celebrating, I suddenly received another phone call from him. I wondered why brother Yuan Fan was calling me again since the online hate storm was already taken care of. Had something else gone wrong? No. He yelled out that I was officially famous. He told me I was trending everywhere, with everyone praising my handsome looks, and my follower count was absolutely skyrocketing. Already 300,000 followers, and still climbing. I was completely dazed. How could I be famous so fast when I barely did anything? He just told me to go check online. He warned me not to post anything until things settled down. I nodded, knowing I was in the eye of a massive storm. Staying quiet was definitely the smartest play here. After hanging up, I immediately logged online to see what the hype was about. Sure enough, the trending topics online were completely dominated by my name. Thousands of people were obsessing over my handsome face, sending my online follower count absolutely through the roof. And check this out, my manager said 300,000, but it's already hit 400,000. I was completely stunned. Were people seriously this obsessed with my face? Honestly, my looks before I transmigrated were identical to this body's original owner. It was never this insane in my past life, but hey, getting showered with praise felt pretty amazing. Seeing that people weren't just calling me handsome, but also praising my acting skills made me feel incredibly warm inside. I had to work even harder to never let these fans down, so I happily went back to studying my script. By the time night fell, my overall follower count was rapidly closing in on 1 million. Upon hearing the news, my mother-in-law quickly said goodbye to her friends and rushed home to cook a special dinner. When Gunyanyan and her dad found out, they stayed calm, deciding not to disturb Chen for now. Gunyanyan quickly browsed the internet, and seeing the massive wave of love and praise for me, she couldn't help but smile. She whispered to herself that Chen was truly amazing and that all his hard work was finally paying off. Believing I deserved every bit of it, she quietly created a new account and followed me. Once dinner was ready, Gunyanian casually walked upstairs to calm me down, looking completely normal the entire time. I had absolutely no idea they had planned a special celebration, so I just happily followed her downstairs. But the second I stepped down, Uncle Lan showered me with praise, saying our Chen was finally being recognized by the world. He eagerly bragged about how incredibly jealous all of his old friends were during their afternoon tea earlier that day. Gu Lin Hai smiled, welcoming me to the table since my mother-in-law had cooked everything with Nianian's help. I got a bit choked up. At lunch today, we were actually supposed to be celebrating Gu Lin Hai, not me. Yet somehow, it became a party for my successful audition, so I quickly thanked my wonderful family. I thanked my new mom and dad first, but when it was time to thank Gu Nianian, I froze. They teased me, asking why I hadn't thanked my wife yet, so I managed a tense, "Thank you, honey." I wanted to use her real name, but earlier I had already called her that in front of her mom. If I switched to her full name now, I was worried they would get suspicious, but calling her just Nianian, that felt even weirder. You know how awkward that is. So they went to wait in the dining room, leaving me alone with Gunayaning. She told me to hurry up, eat already. What are you standing around for? She didn't mind my nervousness. With a light chuckle, she headed inside. I stood out there for a moment, took a deep breath to compose myself, and then followed her. Inside, everyone had already moved on to chat about other things. No eyes on me anymore. I could finally relax. I assumed my follower growth would have stopped by morning, but when I checked my phone, I had already crossed 4 million followers. I was absolutely stunned all over again. The internet is honestly packed with people who only care about looks. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate beauty too, but I wouldn't follow someone just because they're attractive. Well, except for Gu Nianying, obviously. But who could honestly blame me? She is incredibly gorgeous, a total boss at work, and technically my wife. With her constantly walking around right in front of me, it is hard not to look. Honestly, it is a relief that the hype is finally dying down. My follower count is stabilizing, and the trending searches are fading. I can finally breathe a little easier now. Sure, being famous has its perks and definitely gives me way more options in life, but blowing up like this was just bizarre. Life is seriously too unpredictable. The moment I walked downstairs the next morning, things got interesting again. I saw Gu Nianying eating breakfast, while my father-in-law was already finishing up his morning coffee and newspaper. As soon as I sat down, Gu Nianying quietly slid a freshly peeled egg over to me. I wanted to say no, but since she had already gone through the trouble of peeling it, I just ate it. Once breakfast was over, the father and daughter left for the office. But before stepping out, Gu Nianying gave me a sudden hug. She told me she had a cocktail party tonight and would miss dinner. That kind of intimate talk always catches me off guard, and I had absolutely no idea how to respond. I told her to focus on work. My audition was at 10 o'clock, so I had no reason to rush. I let Uncle Lan know, then headed out with Yang Yuanfen. Even I was still reeling from everything that happened yesterday. In all my years working in showbiz, I have never seen someone gain over 4 million followers in a single day just by being extremely attractive. They are entirely devoted to your looks. With a face like that, your career is basically set. Chen, this fanbase alone can easily guarantee you 10 years of wealth and fame in the entertainment industry. I told him he was exaggerating. It is just a face, and there are plenty of guys better looking than me. I figured these fans would quickly move on to someone else in no time. He sighed and told me I have zero self-awareness. In the eyes of those millions of fans, there is literally nobody more attractive on the planet. Plus, a visual like yours? Good luck replacing that. Do you think just anyone gets hailed as a top-tier visual god by the entire internet? Believe me, those netizens have extremely sharp eyes. Even if I thought he was exaggerating, who honestly hates hearing nice compliments. So I laughed it off and told Brother Yang to stop blowing things out of proportion before my face turned completely red from embarrassment. Yang Yuanfan finally got down to business, noting that my follower growth was slowing and my trends were dropping. He suggested I post a quick update thanking everyone and strongly recommended making it a short video instead of text. A basic text post might look like I was just brushing them off. So I grabbed my phone and quickly recorded a short clip. I introduced myself as Chen, thanked everyone for the support, and uploaded the video straight to my account. Instantly, fans flooded the comments, screaming about how they were struck by my godly visuals and begging for mercy. In the blink of an eye, the comments went from a few hundred to tens of thousands, with people literally losing their minds. Both of us were totally stunned. We quickly checked the trending searches. The topic of top-tier visual god Chen posting an update shot to the #1 spot almost instantly. Talk about terrifying influence. Yang Yuanfan opened my profile page, and we watched my follower count start skyrocketing all over again. I was completely speechless. Not only was my inbox exploding, but Yang Yuanfan's social media accounts were getting flooded too. Dozens of major media outlets were begging for exclusive interviews. My manager looked at me and asked if I wanted to do them. Tons of major media outlets are blowing up my inbox, desperately wanting an exclusive feature on you. Exploding in popularity this fast felt completely surreal. So I told Brother Yang I wanted to reject the interviews to take things one step at a time. He agreed instantly, telling me it was my own career and I called the shots. Since he technically worked for me, I could do whatever I wanted. So I asked him to politely turn everyone down. Right now, my only focus was nailing this upcoming short drama audition today. I wanted to build my career on solid acting skills, not some fleeting hype. Brother Yang thought that was a solid plan, too. He pointed out that since I just got famous, doing interviews right now might make me look desperate for clout, triggering a nasty backlash from the public. If I wanted to be a real actor, proving myself through actual work was the smartest move. I nodded, totally agreeing with him. That was my exact train of thought. I absolutely needed to build a strong foundation of roles first. Otherwise, my fame would just collapse like a fragile house of cards. Now watch how fast Yang Yuanfan handled these requests. After turning them down, he assured me that my fans were mostly here for my handsome looks, so the hype was not going anywhere. My acting was pretty decent too. With my passionate fanbase constantly clamoring for me, directors would definitely be flooding his inbox with major lead roles very soon. We would not even have to go out and hunt for auditions anymore, meaning I could just look through incoming offers and pick what I actually wanted. Hearing that absolutely thrilled me. Honestly, that was easily the best part. I finally had real choices compared to when I was just a struggling nobody. But then, he mentioned another issue. With such a massive following, traveling with only him as my manager was out of the question. He was going to be way too busy. He could not watch over me 24/7 anymore, so we urgently needed to hire a personal driver and an assistant. I told him to make the call. But in the next second, he unexpectedly asked if he could hire his own relatives instead. He explained that President Gu had handed down some incredibly strict, non-negotiable rules. We could never let outsiders find out I was her husband. Otherwise, we would have to travel with a massive security team. But hiring total strangers made him incredibly uneasy, especially since my assistant and driver would be by my side almost constantly. I told him to go ahead if his relatives were willing and he trusted them. He should hire them. As for bodyguards, if I ever needed them down the road, I could simply bring two along from my own household. My family already employed plenty of security, and they were far more trustworthy than any random outsiders. Brother Yang made a great point. Besides, if things got so crazy that I actually needed bodyguards just to step outside, that would mean my safety was actually at risk. I valued my life quite a bit, so I was definitely not going to be stubborn about this. If the time came, I would just tell Gun Yanin and borrow a couple of her trusted guards. Still, keeping clear boundaries with her was proving tough, especially since everyone in the industry already assumed we were a package deal. Completely separating our lives was proving to be a total nightmare. Just then, Yang Yuanfan glanced down at his watch. It was almost time for the short drama audition, so he urged me to get moving. We immediately set off. These modern short dramas are not nearly as complicated as big-budget television shows. The auditions are usually incredibly simple. He told me to stay relaxed because I would definitely pass. I honestly assumed that even with a simple setup, I would still have to act. But the moment I actually arrived, "You are going to love this," the director immediately ran over to greet me, exclaiming how incredibly famous Chen was now. He asked why I was even bothering to audition when they could barely afford my daily rate of 30,000 yuan. But since my current situation was a bit special right now, he had already requested the company to bump my pay up to 50,000 yuan a day instead. He asked if I heard that. They could actually manage 50,000 a day, and if I was willing to accept, the male lead role was officially mine. Stunned by how fast things were moving, I politely asked him if I actually had to perform at all. He scoffed, "Why would someone with a face like yours even audition?" And since I easily landed a major role in another drama, my skills were obviously completely fine. The guy even joked that with zero acting skills, my fans would gladly pay just to stare at my face. Hearing that made me seriously doubt if his projects were actually any good. I had to investigate. Sure, Director Lee is a bit brutally honest, but his work genuinely competes with high-budget TV dramas in terms of quality. Pulling off something that genuinely rivals high-end television shows in such a remarkably tight time frame, whether the final project goes viral or not, proves the guy has some serious talent. With Brother Yang vetting it, I had zero doubts. After reading the script for this short drama, I absolutely fell in love with the main character. 50,000 yuan a day is perfect. Honestly, I had my own little selfish reasons for accepting. Before getting famous, I would have been lucky to pull in 2 or 3,000 yuan a day for an audition. Fame is quite an incredible thing. The paydays are just massive. It turns out our project is actually based on a wildly popular web novel. We start shooting in just 3 days, and we only have 5 days to wrap the whole project. It drops online in about a month. If you are good with this schedule, let us get the paperwork signed. No issues here. We sign the terms, and seriously, look at how much easier life gets the moment you hit the big leagues. Even though Director Lee had never met my manager before, he readily agreed to every single edit we wanted. He signed off on everything with zero complaints because his company already gave him strict instructions. Keep it under 50,000 yuan a day, and if Chen has any other demands, just make it happen. Reading between the lines, they were desperate to lock me in as their lead actor. The company had a smart strategy. This was my very first project since blowing up online, and my massive fan base was highly active. Since these short dramas release incredibly fast, they could instantly cash in on my trending hype. Even if the show did not become a monster hit, they were basically guaranteed to turn a profit. After signing the paperwork, I left with Yang Yuan Fan. On social media, my follower count was surging past 7 million. Watching this crazy momentum build up, Yang Yuan Fan was utterly speechless. That is when the floodgates opened. Outlets, major brands, and reality shows were practically blowing up Yang Yuan Fan's inbox. Brother Yang immediately rejected every single interview request. For the brand deals and variety shows, I asked him to filter out only the best ones. After all, I still had to pay my manager his monthly salary. Once we brought on a driver and a personal assistant, those payroll costs would pile up. Daily business expenses add up to quite a substantial sum. Plus, I needed to stack up some cash for myself. But with my set starting in 3 days, there was just no time. I had no free time to take on any extra gigs right now. I just had Yang Yuan Fan keep a close eye on them until my filming wrapped up. Even as we speak, television scripts are still piling up in Yang Yuan Fan's inbox. But because I am joining my set in 3 days, he immediately rejected any project that wanted to start filming right away. The rest, he held on to, reviewing them slowly. After dropping me at the Goof family estate, Yang Yuan Fan headed out. Hearing that I had actually signed the contract for the drama, Uncle Lan was grinning from ear to ear. We grabbed lunch, and then I went upstairs to handle some personal business. Get this, around 4 p.m. Yang Yuan Fan calls me in a panic because my page just broke 10 million. He asked if I knew I was trending again. Startled, I quickly opened my phone to check. Although my name still sits near the top of the charts, the surge of new followers had definitely slowed down. My viral run was finally cooling off, and honestly, you can only go so far on looks alone anyway. From here on out, keeping this momentum would depend entirely on my actual acting skills, my other talents, or my personality. Honestly, hearing about the slowdown felt like a massive relief. I prefer to stay grounded and climb step by step rather than relying on something as fleeting as looks. Just a little fame was plenty. That evening at dinner, Uncle Lan and Gunyanian wanted to celebrate for me again. Except, Gunyanian was actually attending a cocktail party, so she was not there. By 8 p.m., my social media following had pretty much plateaued. I took a quick glance, it was sitting at over 11 million. Fans are absolutely wild, but thank goodness the rush finally ended. It was not until 9 p.m. that Gunyanian finally returned home. She pushed the door open, smelling strongly of alcohol. I instinctively asked if she had been drinking. Immediately, I regretted asking. What a stupid question to ask someone who just got back from a major cocktail party. Obviously she did. Gunyanian simply nodded, asking if the alcohol smell bothered me since she only had a little. Before I could reply, she unclasped the elegant watch from her wrist and casually tossed it onto the table. Then she adds that since I do not like it, she will stop drinking. Wait, what did I even say? Why would she stop? You do not need to worry about me, she says. I only smelled it, that is all. Man, I really hate my mouth sometimes. Like, who even goes to business events and does not drink? Saying stuff like that just makes me sound completely insane. Honestly, she is totally playing with me here, and I have absolutely no defense. I feel so awkward, looking everywhere except at her. I stammer that she barely drank anyway, so why would I even be worried? She whispers that next time she will drink way more just to make her precious Asian worry. I tell her to just go take a shower since she is exhausted. Gunyanian chuckles at my red face and heads inside. Once she is done, I am already in bed. But out of nowhere, she climbs into bed and wraps herself right around my arm. It totally startles me as she whispers not to move. She gives me this look, and I immediately get the hint. I freeze up right there, stiff as a wooden board. Thank goodness she turned off the lights, but honestly, how am I supposed to sleep like this? I cannot even roll over, and she is way too close. The sweet scent of her perfume is making my heart pound like crazy. Then she suddenly remembers that I am joining the filming crew in 3 days. That means I will be staying out for 5 whole days. She is teasing me so much, my heart is practically pounding out of my chest. Seriously, we finally started getting close, and now we have to live apart. I am too flustered to even talk back. My brain is practically melting. This woman really is not afraid to say absolutely anything. Like, since when did we have feelings? But Gunyanian does not even wait for me to answer her. She just giggles softly right against my ear, making it go totally red, before smoothly changing the subject. What a little devil. How can she keep doing this to me? Playful teasing is fine, but this is bordering on absolute emotional torture. Then she drops a real question. Xian, is it true that if I do not call, you will never call me? I freeze up, totally lost, and just mutter that I do not get it. She sighs, asking if I really did not notice she was silent all day. She usually calls daily, so of course I noticed her silence. But it is not like it actually means anything, right? Besides, I had tons of scripts to memorize anyway, so I only wondered about it for a second before forgetting. My head is completely spinning now. I have absolutely no clue whether I should admit I noticed her absence or play it cool. She pouts, complaining that I did not even ask what kept her so busy all day now that she is finally home. I must be dreaming, because her usually calm voice actually sounds a little hurt right now. Is she seriously pouting to me? Is this really the same powerful boss woman I know? Man, this is giving me a major headache. I stammer that she was working, and her dad even mentioned she had a massive workload today, so I did not want to bother her. But she just groans, saying she does not care and that I simply do not care about her. I have zero comeback for that. Then she leans in, whispering softly that I need to start learning how to actually show my wife some love from now on. She tells me to call her, so I quickly promise to text her first after work. She just smiles and calls me a good boy. She promises to bring me my favorite sweets every single day after my filming wraps up, leaving me with totally mixed emotions. Honestly, I originally planned on getting a divorce when the time came, but she has been keeping me incredibly safe lately. She brought in the famous manager Yang Yuanfan, and her wealthy family has been nothing but completely warm and supportive toward me. Thoughts of leaving her are completely gone. 3 days later, I head out to start shooting my short drama. The 5-day shoot flies by, and no matter how late we finish, I always make sure to text Gunyanian right on time to update her. I even send her cute little behind-the-scenes snaps of myself working. The crew on set secretly teases me about it, and though I deny everything, my heart feels pretty warm. And get this, my short drama becomes an instant viral hit, and the entire internet is suddenly praising my incredible acting. Plus, the major Changyan production team officially announces the cast and posts my complete audition tape online. My popularity is off the charts. Yang Yuanfan filters my offers, rejecting trashy reality shows to focus only on major film projects. I stay completely humble. I focus entirely on honing my acting skills on set. Meanwhile, Karma finally catches up with that lying snake Qin Yifei for all his nasty rumors. Since he secretly live-streamed those lies, he gets totally blacklisted by every director in the business. His brands dump him immediately, and his fan base completely vanishes. He was reduced to taking cheap web drama background roles and small extra gigs. With his popularity completely dead, he couldn't even touch me anymore. He finally swallowed his pride and stopped trying to compete with everyone around him. Instead, he quietly focused on background gigs to improve his skills, a small price to pay for his reckless moves. Meanwhile, the top actress Xiao Tianlin always kept our professional bond strictly friendly and supportive. She constantly shared her tips, and later on, when a perfect dual lead script came up, she actually put my name forward, making us genuine industry friends who always had each other's backs. And guess what? 6 months later, our show Changyan aired, and my complex supporting role actually won me the Newcomer Award. During the big ceremony, Gu Nianian sat right in the crowd alongside Lan Xie and Gu Linhai. She didn't look away from me. Not once. I gripped my award tightly. I announced that chasing my acting dream was only possible because of my wife, Gu Nianian, and the endless support from our amazing family. Honestly, I used to worry so much about the distance keeping us apart. But now I see that true love isn't about following some written script. It's about two people running directly into each other's arms. After the ceremony, we went back to the Gu house, where the father-in-law told me the previous shares were just a minor thank you. He presented a whole entertainment subsidiary that he and Nianian used to run together. He told me I now had total creative control to produce any genre I wanted and support any fresh talent I chose. He insisted it was a real partnership, not charity, because he trusted my eyes. Now look at this beautiful moment back in our quiet room. I sat right next to her and held her hand. I confess that I initially thought she was locked into her role as the obsessed female lead from the story. I kept trying to push her away and constantly mentioned divorce. I admitted I knew the novel's plot early on, but I absolutely refused to live my life by someone else's script. But after meeting her, I never cared about playing some main character. All I ever wanted was her. I promised to stop stressing over the book's events and just focus on her and my craft. I vowed to keep her close to my heart and actively share every single part of my daily life. A year later, I officially launched my own entertainment studio, handing Yang Yuan Fan full authority to manage every single business operation of ours. We hired talented but overlooked rookies, while Gunianian and I finally got married at a breathtaking seaside wedding on National Day. Married life was incredibly sweet, and no matter how packed my shooting schedule became, she remained my absolute top priority. She dropped company chores just to sit on set and review scripts with me. Lan Shu constantly dragged us out for dinners, while Gulin Hai loved sharing nostalgic stories about the golden age of show business. We were genuinely happy. The online hate completely vanished, and every single project I touched turned into an absolute hit. Even my old rival, Chen Yufei, finally humbled himself to improve. Now, when we cross paths, he actually greets me politely. With his toxic jealousy completely gone, we both found our own stable paths to success in this industry. On our days off, Gunian Yan and I love to sit on the terrace watching the beautiful sunset while she rests on my shoulder. Pure peace. My heart was finally at ease. Turns out a background character like me, who had no business being in the spotlight, didn't end up lonely and forgotten. Instead, the girl who was supposed to chase the main lead and I completely broke free from our written fates, choosing to cherish each other. By supporting one another, we built a stable, genuinely happy life together, side by side, year after year. The future is bright. Having the career of my dreams and a loving family with her right beside me is the ultimate happy ending.